Most riders think their motorcycle will eventually wear out no matter what. But the truth is, most engines don't die from age. They die from avoidable mistakes. In this video, we're diving into 6 habits that can make your bike outlast most cars on the road, and even hit 300,000 miles or more without a rebuild. These aren't complicated mods or expensive upgrades. They're small changes that make a huge difference. If you want your motorcycle to run smoother, last longer, and save you thousands in repairs, stick around. You might be surprised by what's quietly killing your engine, and how easy it is to stop it. When was the last time you changed your motorcycle's coolant? If you can't remember, you're not alone. Most riders forget all about it until the damage is already done. Coolant is one of those hidden systems you rarely see but absolutely rely on. While it's easy to notice low oil or worn brake pads, your coolant can quietly degrade over time and start wreaking havoc deep inside your engine. You see, coolant does more than keep your bike from overheating. It also prevents internal rust, lubricates the water pump, and maintains stable temperatures. But after about 24,000 miles or 2 years, even the best coolant begins to break down. Once it loses its protective properties, it becomes acidic, and that's when the damage starts. We're talking corroded radiators, clogged thermostats, seized water pumps, and even head gasket failures. Fixing that could run you over $2,000. In 2025, manufacturers like Honda and Yamaha now include coolant change intervals in their digital maintenance logs, and some even offer long-life coolants rated for 5 years. But that's only under ideal conditions. In real-world riding, especially in hot climates or under heavy load, it's still best to flush and refill every 2 years. Also, never mix different coolant types. Doing so can cause chemical reactions that lead to thick sludge or internal blockage. Always use a motorcycle-specific coolant or one recommended by your bike's manufacturer. Popular choices today include Engine Ice, Maxima Coolanol, or OEM-branded fluids. When changing it, don't just drain and top it off. Do a full flush with distilled water, then refill. Bottom line, if your coolant is over 2 years old, replace it now. It's a small job that could save your engine and your wallet big time. Let's be honest, most riders focus on oil changes and chain tension. But how you ride your motorcycle every day might be doing more damage than anything else. One of the most common and most costly mistakes? Revving a cold engine. Here's the deal. When your engine is cold, oil hasn't yet made its way to the top-end components like the camshaft or valves. It's still thick and sitting at the bottom of the crankcase. If you jump on the throttle right away, those parts are grinding together without enough lubrication. And that's a recipe for metal wear, scoring, and early bearing failure. Good riders, those who clock 300,000 miles and beyond, know this. They warm up their engine for at least 30 to 60 seconds, then ride gently until the bike reaches full operating temperature. That means keeping RPMs under 4,000, being easy on the throttle, and avoiding sudden clutch dumps or hard downshifting. Once your engine is warm, it's ready to perform. But bad habits don't stop there. Improper clutch use is another killer. If you coast with the clutch pulled in for long periods or release it abruptly under load, you're putting stress on the driveline, especially on the chain, sprockets, transmission, and engine mounts. Likewise, slamming down multiple gears without rev matching can cause gearbox shock, rear wheel lockup, or even internal damage. And here's a tip often missed in 2025. Newer bikes with quick shifters and slipper clutches are not immune. In fact, misusing those systems still creates wear, just in different places. Smoothness still wins. Think of your engine like an athlete. It needs a proper warm-up, controlled performance, and rest to stay strong. Ride it like you want it to last forever, and it just might. You probably check your oil and maybe even your tire pressure regularly. But when was the last time you changed your brake or clutch fluid? For many riders, the answer is never, and that's a big problem. Both brake and clutch systems use hydraulic fluid, usually DOT4 or DOT 5.1, which absorbs moisture from the air over time. This process is called hygroscopy, and while it's normal, it slowly degrades the fluid. As moisture builds up, the boiling point drops, and your braking performance starts to suffer, especially under heavy use or during high-speed riding. In extreme cases, your brakes can go soft, or even fail under heat, a condition known as vapor lock. By June 2025, we've seen an increase in riders with ABS and advanced braking systems, which makes this even more important. Moisture-contaminated fluid can cause internal corrosion in ABS modules, master cylinders, and clutch slave cylinders, leading to 1,000+ repair bills. That's why replacing brake and clutch fluid every 2 years is still the gold standard. And don't reuse open bottles. Once opened, brake fluid starts absorbing air moisture, even on the shelf. Always use a sealed, fresh container and bleed the system thoroughly to remove air bubbles. And here's a 2025 update. Many modern bikes now include brake fluid age sensors or alerts in their digital dash systems. If your dashboard flashes a brake system warning and your pads are fine, it's probably your fluid telling you it's past its prime. It's a small task, less than $30 in parts, but it can literally save your life. Smooth, reliable braking and a responsive clutch aren't just performance perks. They're essential for safe riding. Make fluid replacement a part of your routine, not a rescue plan. Here's something most riders skip, either because they don't know about it or because they hope it won't matter: valve clearance adjustments. Unfortunately, it does matter, a lot. Every engine has valves that open and close to let in air and fuel, and then push out exhaust. But those valves have a tiny amount of clearance, called valve lash, between the camshaft and the valve itself. Over time, heat and wear slowly reduce this gap. When the clearance gets too tight, the valves stop fully closing, and that's when the real damage begins. Hot gases leak out, the valve face starts to burn, and your compression drops. Eventually, the valve can even crack or warp, costing you thousands in head repairs, or even a complete engine rebuild. The problem? There's no check engine light for this. The engine might still sound fine, and performance might only drop slightly until one day, bam, it misfires, loses power, or won't start at all. As of 2025, most motorcycles with liquid-cooled inline fours, like Yamaha FJRs, Honda ST1300S, or Kawasaki Concours, recommend checking valve clearances every 15,000 to 25,000 miles. Yet mechanics across the country say most owners wait until 40,000+ miles, or never do it at all. That's a gamble. And this isn't just for touring bikes. Even dual sports and modern adventure bikes, like the Africa Twin or Tenere 700, need valve checks. Some use shim underbucket systems, which are more durable, but also harder to adjust. That's why many owners put it off. But riders who've pushed past 200,000 miles, they never miss their valve intervals. The truth is, even though valve adjustments are a bit pricey or time-consuming, they're a critical part of keeping your engine healthy. Whether you do it yourself or pay a pro, the cost of maintenance is nothing compared to the cost of failure. It's just a chain, right? How bad could it be? Well, neglect it, and you could be looking at a wrecked wheel hub, destroyed sprockets, a broken gearbox output shaft, or worse, a chain snapping at speed and slapping through your engine case. That's thousands in damage from something that takes 15 minutes to maintain. Your chain is more than just a moving part. It's the main connection between your engine and your wheels. It transmits every bit of torque, absorbs shocks from gear changes, braking, and road imperfections, and spins at high RPMs, especially at highway speeds. Yet it's often ignored. Here's the current gold standard as of June 2025. Clean and lube your chain every 500 to 600 miles, or sooner if you've ridden through rain, dust, or dirt. Use a motorcycle-specific chain cleaner, a stiff brush, like a grunge brush, and a good quality chain lube. Brands like Motul, Maxima, and Bellray are still among the top choices. But it's not just about lube. It's also about tension. A chain that's too loose can whip, slap, and eventually come off. Too tight? It puts stress on your transmission output shaft and rear wheel bearings. Manufacturers now provide laser alignment tools and chain slack gauges, making it easier than ever to check and adjust accurately. And if you're running an X-ring or O-ring chain, which most modern bikes do, keeping it clean and properly lubed extends its life from 10,000 to 25,000 miles or more, depending on riding style and conditions. Still not convinced? Just ask any seasoned rider who's had a chain fail at speed. It's loud, dangerous, and expensive. Take care of it, and it'll quietly do its job for years. Let's end where it all begins. Oil. It's the lifeblood of your motorcycle engine, and the #1 thing you can control to ensure it lasts not just tens of thousands, but hundreds of thousands of miles. Now, here's the kicker. Most motorcycle manuals recommend oil changes every 8,000 to 10,000 miles. Sounds convenient, right? But here's the truth. Those intervals are written with warranty periods and cost savings in mind, not engine longevity. Riders who've pushed past 300,000 or even 500,000 miles, they don't follow the manual. They change their oil every 3,000 to 5,000 miles, especially when running synthetic. Motorcycle engines are much smaller than car engines, and they work harder. Higher RPMs, more heat, and tighter tolerances. That means oil breaks down faster. If you wait too long, your oil becomes saturated with carbon, metallic shavings, and acidic byproducts, turning it into a sludge cocktail that chews up bearings and cams. In 2025, the best move is to stick with full synthetic motorcycle oil, not car oil, not semi-synthetic. Reputable brands include Motul 7100, Amsoil Motorcycle Oil, Mobil 1 Racing 4T, or your manufacturer's OEM synthetic. And don't forget the oil filter. An old filter gets clogged and lets dirty oil bypass directly into your engine. That's a fast track to failure. Also, more bikes now have digital oil life monitors, but they're still based on algorithms, not real oil condition. Trust your mileage and your common sense over a dashboard estimate. So, if you want your bike to last longer than most cars on the road, start with consistent oil changes using high-quality oil and a fresh filter. It's the simplest, most powerful habit in motorcycle maintenance. So, here's the bottom line. Motorcycle engines don't usually die because they're worn out. They die because we make avoidable mistakes. Whether it's neglecting your coolant, skipping valve checks, or hammering the throttle on a cold engine, small habits stack up over time. But the good news? That means you're in control of how long your bike lasts. If you just take the time to develop these 6 simple habits, stay on top of oil changes, ride smooth and smart, keep your chain clean, replace old fluids, check those valves, and don't forget your coolant, you can stretch your motorcycle's life far beyond what most riders think is possible. We're talking 250,000, 300,000, even 500,000 miles with the same engine. And one final tip, log everything. Use a notebook, a Google Sheet, or a free app like FYI Motolog. Track your maintenance, your mileage, your parts. Over time, those notes will save you thousands and turn you into the kind of rider who doesn't just ride hard, but rides smart. If this video helped you, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with a fellow rider who wants their motorcycle to last a lifetime. This channel is all about helping riders get the most out of their machines. And we've got more videos just like this coming your way. Ride safe, ride smart, and ride long.